5 straight conference finals in his first 5 years as a head coach.
Name and affiliation, please, right here, left-hand side.
Effective defensively against McCollum and Lillard tonight. Talk a little bit about that. How important was that to the outcome?
Well, they're a tremendous backcourt. We're well aware of what they're capable of, so we're paying a lot of attention to them, just trying to stay all over them if we can and not give up anything easy. And I thought our defense was good, but I also thought we benefited from the schedule. You know, we were able to finish our last series on Friday, and they had to go to a tough Game 7 in Denver and a quick turnaround. So the schedule favored us, but I thought we took advantage of the situation and got off to a good start.
Second row, right-hand side.
Anthony Sutter with The Athletic. Were you shocked how they defended Steph, dropping their big so far off?
No, nothing. Nothing really shocks me. We've seen pretty much everything, and I think every defense is sort of personnel based, and so these playoff series are always interesting, and they didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare, so they've got a tape to look at, and I'm sure they'll make some adjustments. But you got to do what you're most comfortable with, what your players are comfortable with, and that's what every team tries to do. So Steph got free and had a big night and carried us at times, and obviously that was a big part of the game. I also thought the key stretch for us was the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. You know, they made it a six or 7 point game to start the fourth. Portland made a really good run at the end of the third, and our bench came in, did a fantastic job getting us the lead back up to about 12 or so before we went back to our starters. So great job by our bench.
Steve, Mark, Medina Bay Area News Group. On that note, with the bench, what did you also see in the second quarter and overall to be able to carry what they showed in Game 6?
Well, same thing, second quarter. Jonas came in, knocked down a couple shots. I thought Jordan Bell's minutes were good. They just came in and executed and defended. And, the biggest thing is if we can buy some time for our starters to rest and even extend the lead, then, that's a huge deal for us. And this series feels like it's a series where we can play more people. It's a different matchup. And I think that what you saw tonight is what we'd like to get to every night if we can in terms of playing 10, 11 guys.
Third row, right-hand side.
Hey, Steve. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. When did the med staff clear Damian Jones to play, and how was that for you to be able to send him on the court after all he's been through?
Yeah, so he was cleared basically the last couple of days. He was cleared for contact. He played a 3-on-3 yesterday. As of shoot around today, we had declared him out because we were just sort of, in that routine over the last several months. And, when we got to the stadium, the training staff said, he can go tonight. So we had that extra roster spot because of our injuries and put him out there. So it felt good to put him there the last couple of minutes to see him do well. He's been working unbelievably hard, and he's such a great kid. And so it's nice to see DJ back out on the floor.
Third row, left-hand side.
Coach Kerr, Tony Harvey, Sacramento Observer. You just mentioned about buying time, with this little layoff that you had.
I'm sorry, about what?
Buying time, for rest for your players. That's kind of like a strategy going in here because you got away with not playing one player over 40 minutes tonight. That strategy you came in with tonight?
Yeah. As I said, we feel like this is a series where we can use more bench players, and that'll be the strategy if we can. But every game's different, so we'll see how it goes.
Scott Osler, Chronicle. Steve, what did you think of your team's pace and push, the way they pushed the ball?
I thought it was good. I thought we were actually in a rush the first half. We took some quick shots. Turnovers weren't too bad. I think we had 7 at the half. We finished with 14, which is a decent number. But it seemed like we were just in a hurry the first half. Took a lot of quick ones. We were just not quite in our rhythm. But sometimes that happens, you know, the first game of a series, you're kind of feeling out the game, and I thought we settled in better in the second half.
C.J. Peterson, San Francisco Examiner. Steve, what did you think of the game of Drebko, Looney, and Bell? Trio bigs came off the bench. They combined for a plus 20 tonight. What did you think of their games overall?
They were great. Looney has been great, you know, throughout the playoffs, every round. You know, and Jonas and Jordan have played, you know, sporadically the first 2 rounds, but both guys came in, gave us a big lift today.
Coach Bruce McGowan with KCBS. The Blazers made a couple of runs, you know, made it interesting, but you never got the feeling they were really going to make that push. Did you always feel pretty comfortable, you know, or was there always a little uncertainty because you know what Lillard and McCollum are capable of doing?
You never feel that comfortable as an NBA coach in any game because everyone's got talent, and especially this team with McCollum and Lillard, we know what they're capable of. We've seen both of them just have huge nights in the playoffs. CJ's Game 7 was incredible the other day, and Damian goes without saying, you know, what he's done. So, you know, we go into the fourth. I think it was a 6-point game. No, I did not feel comfortable.
Coach Logan Murdoch, NBC Sports Bay Area. You talked about the run in the third quarter, and they had 31 free throw attempts to you, I think 18. Is there stuff that you want to kind of fix going into game 2 as far as maybe sluggishness and things of that nature?
Yeah, we'll watch the tape tomorrow as a team. Your coaching staff will come in the morning and watch it, and you always figure some things out. You see some things, you recognize some patterns when you go back and look at the tape. So there's always adjustments to make, win or lose. So we'll look for areas where we can get better, and keeping them off the foul line is one of them for sure.
Second row, left-hand side.
Steve, Draymond's had a string of pretty good games, but what have you seen from him from a leadership standpoint during the playoffs?
I just think he's very comfortable. You know, he's playing at such a high level, and he's you know, he's mentoring the younger guys. He's talking to them on the sidelines, and you know, Draymond is one of the smartest players I've ever been around, and you know, he walks that line between being over the top emotional and passionate, and I think he's walking the line really well right now. He's just playing the game and delivering in a big way.
Fifth row, right-hand side.
Colin Ward Henninger, CBSSports.com. You talked about how this is a series where you might be able to play more guys. I'm just curious if you could elaborate on that, on why this series as opposed to maybe Houston where you had to play fewer guys.
It's just a different game. Every team presents different challenges. There's different matchups. And you know, the way Houston plays, it makes it more difficult to play a lot of people. You know, they just look to isolate you in every spot on the floor, and just their style of play makes it more difficult. So nothing earth-shattering.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Coach Stotts will be in here momentarily.
Check out the highlight. Damian Lillard, the Oakland native, wearing his Oakland A's jersey on his way in for Game 1. Warriors and Blazers meeting for the third time in 4 seasons in the postseason. It has not gone well for the Blazers. Damian Lillard, 3 of 17 in Game 7 against Denver. Pull-up jumper there. That's a good sign. But off the Lillard miss, Draymond Green from Steph. And then Green to Curry for the corner 3 at 8 in the first quarter. Green, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists on the night.
And Coach said it best. So those were some of those traps where you just got to go all the way and trap them. And there's Curry versus Curry. And how good is Rodney Hood being coach for the Portland Trailblazers? He's been fantastic off the bench.
I'm really happy for him because he obviously left Cleveland and was very disappointed in how he wound up playing there and that they did not keep him. And the fact that he gets an opportunity here and he's stepping up because he needs this for his career.
Remember, Hood was questionable coming in. Here's Curry. It's that little screen. That's plenty of space for him.
A lot of space.
And then Curry, off balance 3 of 19 at the half. It's a 9-point game.
I mean, he's been good. I mean, he is locked in since the second half or when Kevin Durant went down with his injury.
9 3-pointers, tied his career postseason high. Still not done. Portland actually won the third quarter by 3 points, but not before Steph went a little crazy here. Another one. He had 14 in the quarter.
I would say that you're going to see a little bit of an adjustment next time these two teams meet, particularly on that high pick and roll.
The Curry split loyalties in this game. Dell going with the Warriors jersey, and his wife with the Blazers jersey. Got to root for both boys.
Yeah, they say they flip a coin.
Yep. Pretty fun. To the fourth. Klay Thompson. Oh, yeah, him. He had 26 on the night. CJ McCollum over his shoulder today, and this was a deep, deep three. And again, this cut it to 9. There were moments when it looked like the Blazers might have an extended run in them, but Golden State had answers each and every time. Warriors finished the game with the big run, 19-6, and again they led by as many as 22. They went 116-94, 12th straight Game 1 win in the postseason for them. Portland 36%, the worst shooting percentage they've had all season long. Let's get back out to Oakland, listening with Terry Stotts.
Kerry Eggers, Portland Tribune. Terry, 31 Warriors points on 21 turnovers. What did you see happening there?
Well, we struggled with turnovers the whole game. Obviously, even more so in the first half. I think we had 13 at half. So, they were aggressive. We made some poor decisions, but I thought they were really aggressive on the ball. They got deflections, and 31. I don't know how many of them were transition, but that was. We never really got on track offensively. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well. We had turnovers. We didn't finish well when we had our offensive rebound. So, I mean, it was a tough night offensively.
Dwight Jenkins, NBC Sports Northwest. Terry, what about, you said a bad night offensively. It couldn't have been a real good night defensively either, was it? What about the pick and roll coverage on Curry?
Well, to be honest, other than the fourth quarter, the game defensively was manageable. They got loose in the fourth quarter, had 39 in the fourth quarter. But going into the fourth quarter down 6, we're finding ways to hang in on a night that we're struggling offensively. So certainly they got loose. It's a combination of how well they move without the ball and pick and rolls. I mean. Curry and Thompson move well without the ball. I'm sure pick and rolls were part of it, but it's also their movement and transition.
Anthony Slater with The Athletic. Houston had some success, trapping Steph and really getting out on him. Is this sustainable for you guys to keep dropping the big so far?
Did they, I can't remember, when he had 33 in the second half, were they trapping then?
Yes.
They were? And he scored 33 in the second half?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll look at that.
Any other questions?
Before the game, you had said that obviously NBA players are resilient. How much, though, did you see the effects of Game 7 on Sunday maybe come into play tonight?
Oh, it's possible that... having played a tough emotional game 2 nights ago, that could play into it, but I don't think anybody will use that as an excuse.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. Terry, what kept you guys from getting going offensively, and how can you change that?
Well, we'll look. I know it's cliche, but we'll watch the game film and see what they did. I know they gave Dame a lot of attention. They clogged the paint. We didn't finish the opportunities when we did have them. So when you turn the ball over and don't shoot the ball well and don't finish around the basket well, that's, we got to look for other things. But, hopefully it's just one game. But that's why it's not a one done. We got a series. It's one loss. We got to play better, particularly at the offensive end. But, we got to be better at both ends.
Coach Bruce McGowan with KCBS Radio San Francisco. You guys, managed to hang in there despite shooting poorly and despite the fact that, your number one and number two guys didn't have great nights. Did that give you a feeling of encouragement that you can hang with these guys?
It really did. Each quarter, we felt like it was going to break. Whatever was happening, we were still hanging around, and so we were encouraged by that. And then obviously they broke loose in the fourth quarter. But down six going into the fourth, there were some things to be encouraged about. So we'll bounce back and see what we can do better. All right, thank you.
Terry Stotts there will try to make the adjustment for Game 2 on Thursday night. With that, let's bring in Joe Borges, Senior Vice President, Replay and Referee Operations, with us from Secaucus, New Jersey, as always. Joe, we've got one play from tonight's game. Enes Kanter was called for an offensive foul during the first quarter. It looked like Draymond Green was in the restricted area when he drew the foul. Why was this called a charge on Kanter?
Well, Matt, you're absolutely right. Green was inside the restricted area. But there's a few situations we have where the restricted area does not apply, and this is one of them. When any play starts inside the lower defensive box, which is below the tip of circle, okay, and out to the 3-foot posted up. So anything below that red line there, which is where Kanter catches the ball. Therefore, Green is allowed to be in the restricted area. So since he was there, he was directly in the path, he allowed him to land, and Kanter went through him. That's what made this an offensive foul.
Succinct and clear, Joe. I like it. Short and sweet tonight.
All right, Matt, you got it.
Joe Borgia with us from Secaucus.